typically I can come over here and get a bite, and it's shaded on this time of day, and we got a bite. God dang. Oh, catfish or something, maybe. I don't know. See what we got here. Thought it was a catfish, but no, it's a little bass. We got us a bass starting up. That's more fun, huh? You just never know what you're gonna catch with that little setup I got going on here. God dang, he fought hard. We got a bass. Nice, huh? Good start. Back in you go. And this is what we're gonna start off with right here. So, as you can see, it's pretty small, right? Small, it's a little profile. This is a, Z-Man makes this, a little TRD bug. And I've got it on this football shaped Ned head. And as you can see, there's a little bit of skirt on here, and that's kind of what the difference that I've applied to this little system. You know, typically you just fish it just like so, but I've added some skirt to it, and not a lot of skirt. You know, like it kind of looks like a worn out jig. Less is more really has been paying off for me on this. But what I like about this little setup here is that, as you see the hook that's in there, now the Ned heads that I typically buy have about the same size hook, but the gauge of the wire is heavier than on a typical Ned head. But overall size wise, it's still a finesse type bait. What I'm fishing right here currently is, there's a creek channel come by, and it swings by right by the side of this point here. Kind of makes a longer point out on the Ned end and another one on this end, but this bank right in here is a little bit deeper, so it allows you to kind of fish deeper water, but I'm close to the bank. And areas like that, you know, where you've got a sort of a combination of things, like here we've got the bank, we've got some shade on this side, we've got the deeper water, so there's sort of a lot going on there, and that really makes it an appealing spot for fish to hang out. There he is. There he is. That's a bass. Oh boy. I gotta kind of be easy with this. I mean, oh boy, did he like that. Look at that. You can't even see that little jig. Come here, you. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Like, see, he got that. Yes, he did. Look at that. Like it is in there, right? Like, I think that's another appeal to that size of a bait, is just how easy it is for that fish to go ahead and get it. Let me get him unhooked real quick. There we go. Little bait, big result. This is fun. What a fun fish to catch right there. Boy, he wanted to jump. He was fired up, like me. Fired up this morning. This is a good deal, but so as you can see, we've got this little, it's a little jig, right? Not very big at all. So I used quarters and 3/16, and then this is super light line too. It's only 8-pound test. 8-pound test on a bait caster, right? I'll show you about that too. Right there. We got another one. What's this one look like? God, he's pulling hard. That's a nice one. Ooh, I gotta use drag on this. Oh my gosh, look at how he's pulling drag. That's hilarious. I'm not used to fish pulling drag when I'm fishing a jig, I'll just be honest with you, but this one right here can do it. But I'm gonna show you why he's able to pull drag on this system. As you can see, oh, that's a nice one. Look at that one. Once again, the jig is gone. We're gonna have to grab this one. I don't wanna mess this one up. We got him. Look what that little jig is. I mean, and that's a nice one, huh? Talk about fun. This is fun right here. Love catching fish on a jig. Typically with a bait caster, I mean, if you're going to use light line, you'd be using a spinning reel, right? I've got several out here. But for me, I love using the bait caster, and this one right here in particular is set up just for this. So it's a Shimano Curado, right? Familiar name. They used Curados for years and years. But if you see right here on the side, you see what it says? It says the BFS. So now this is a bait Finesse System reel. Now what does that mean exactly? Well, what it means is this thing is designed to throw really light lures. Like the spool is super shallow on these, and the magnetics are basically completely different than what they are on my traditional reel right here. Everything is smaller, everything is lighter, everything is designed with a finesse bait in mind. I've got a couple of them. Here's another one right here. This one is Aldebaran, same deal, BFS system, 3/16 ounce Ned head, and I'm fishing this on, as you can see, this rod is a 6'6". Now that's old school. That's kind of what I used to have pistol grips, and this one is sort of a modified version of that, but this is a G Loomis. It's an old 6'6" rod that I've had for years and years, but it's super light and it's not too overpowering. You're gonna see some of these fish are gonna slip the drag, but I want them to because I don't want to break the fish off, because I am using light line and the rod is a little bit stiffer, and so you want the reel to give to that. So that way you don't break your fish off. So, gosh, he went a long ways in the air. He's still down there kind of deep. I'll take my time with this one again. Another dandy. Oh, there we go. Yes, summertime. Here we go. As again, I don't even see that little jig. It is like out of sight, but we got him. Look where it's at. Perfect. Okay, here we go. We got us a nice little bass. There's really a couple ways I like to work this. You know, the most traditional way of fishing with any type of a football jig or a football head is to basically pull it along the bottom. And pulling it is what's key about a football jig. That's why it's made the shape that it is, because it's made to not roll one side or the other. It's made to stay horizontal and kind of roll along that bottom. And that's what the point of a football jig head is for that style of fishing. But with these little light ones, they're so light, they're really not going to stay in contact that well. You'd have to fish it extremely slow to keep it there. But one of the things I like to do with it is I'll get it on the bottom, and I'll literally just make a few quick cranks with the reel and just let it fall back down on that slack line. Now you can work it like so, but the thing is different is if you just use the reel, it's going to work really fast, and your rod is already back down there, and you're not moving the bait nearly as high. You're moving it quickly, but it's not coming as high off the bottom. So, and what I'm gonna do, I'm still pointing towards it. I'm not pointing exactly at it. There's a little bit of a bend in there, and I'm just gonna turn it 2-3 turns really fast, and then just watch my line as it's falling back down. There's a fish. Oh, it's a jumper. Is he a jumper? I bet he is. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here we go. Come on. Perfect. Come here, you. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Look at all the spots on them. It's so funny how some bass get that pigment on those. Dark spot on there. Looks like a stain, but see how that one was hooked right? Pinned him right in the snoot there. That's why he was jumping. I don't blame him. That little hook gets him, but yeah, nice. Kind of a pale looking fish with the dark on him. Cool. That green in there. Really cool. Mm-hmm. All right, let him bounce. And you're gonna jump again or what? Okay.